Today we're looking at another brand of paper. This is the Neo Agenda paper, which was developed by Marks Inc. INC that is, which makes the EDiT notebook range. These come in a range of sizes, sort of line rules and that kind of thing. I've had one in my collection for a while, but recently picked up one of their newer notebooks, which has roughly 53 GSM paper. I'll go into all that in a bit more detail. This is really going to position itself as a a well-loved paper in the market, I think. It's been hard to get outside of Japan for a long time, but as far as I'm led to believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the Pilot sort of broad corporation, or the corporation who is broadly Pilot, have acquired this brand and are going to help in the distribution of this brand worldwide, which is why we're now seeing it in some like online retailers even here in Australia. So let's look at these EDiT notebooks. I'll put them through some ink tests and talk about the paper a little bit, as well as the notebook in general, and see how it performs alongside papers like Tomoe River. So please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, and consider becoming a member of this channel, where for a small monthly fee you'll get early access to my videos, priority comments, and eventually some members only Q&As. But right now, let's look at the EDiT notebook. So here is the notebook I got from Marks Inc. This is the EDiT notebook. You see there, Marks Inc. Marks, made in Japan. There's lots to love about this. So the paper in these notebooks is really nice. It's very smooth. It's quite white. This particular one is the A7, I should say, or A6, sorry, which I got because I like a little pocket notebook, and I wanted to try this one. And I've had this one for a little while, which is a slightly older version with a sort of a faux leather sort of cover. But we're mainly going to talk about this one. I'll show you the other one because the paper is slightly differently. But this one is A6 size, 105 by 148 millimeters, 160 pages, 7mm ruled, made in Japan. It's sort of got these ideas of like organizing thoughts, meeting notes, brainstorming, to-do list, project planning, study notes, life logging, travel journal, sketching, all that kind of stuff as ideas. On the back of the belly band, it also talks about how like it's got lay flat binding, and about the 7mm rule makes it great for writing and reviewing and all that kind of thing. And that each page has like a slightly header space with some like little markings and things. But it's nice. I think it's a very simple notebook, and these come in other sizes as well. This is, as I said, just the size I was interested in getting. It's got this glued sort of thermal tape binding, which is nice because it, as they say, it does lay relatively flat, relatively easily. But as a left-handed writer, there's no like comb or wire binding to get in the way, particularly on a smaller notebook that can really get in the way when you're writing. But the main thing for me is this paper fountain pen friendly? And it's the paper I'm more interested in than the notebook. It's a nice minimalist notebook, Japanese minimalist notebooks. I'm thinking Midori, things like that. They're great. They really know what they're doing. But let's talk about this one. Marks EDiT notebook. Marks started in 2010 apparently, which is nice to know. It's this is the lined. It comes in A6, A5, and A4 in blank, and lined, blank, and graph. This is the lined version, as you can see. It's made in Japan, and the paper is Neo Agenda paper, which is 52.3 GSM, which was developed for Marks. This notebook costs $8.75 from a US retailer, and in Australia I got it for $13.50. So it's not inexpensive for a pocket notebook, but it's also well priced, especially in when you talk about the quality of the paper. It's 160 pages, 7mm line rule, which is my absolute bang on ideal. Lay flat glue binding, flexible cardstock cover, nice and robust, strong enough, all those kinds of things. And then I gave the measurements before. It's described as being fountain pen friendly and FSC certified, which I'm all for. Now, how does it perform? That's what we're all asking here. So I've done a writing sample with a range of different pens. I got the Pilot Custom 845 with a fine nib with Wearing All Great Gatsby ink, the Aurora Optima fine nib with Aurora Black, Pilot Custom Urushi, which is the big boy, medium nib with Pilot Iroshizuku Syoro, then a Pilot Sterling medium nib with Pilot Roshizuku Shinkai, a Pilot Custom 823 with a broad nib using Diamine Rosewood, which is from the 160th anniversary set. Yes, you'll notice a lot of Pilot in this, and as I mentioned, for obvious reasons. Lamy Jetstream Ballpoint, so that's just their collaborative one. A highlighter, Uniball Zento 07, Tom Studio Lumos with the 0.8 nib, 0.5 2B mechanical pencil in the eraser test, which comes up nicely. Should say also the highlighter looks great. Pentel Energel 0.7, and then a Sharpie. So, how does it perform? So the only point anything actually came through is from the Jetstream, where I wrote over a line. Nothing else actually bleeds through. The Pentel Energel wants to, and of course the Sharpie does, but the fountain pens all perform really, really well. There is a lot of ghosting here. We can see it. We can read it through the page, right? You can see the reverse page. This is 52.3 GSM paper. It is super, super lightweight paper. Similar to, the light stock of Tomoe River. It's fine. It's good. We understand there's going to be ghosting on paper like this, but if you want bleed, it's tight line rules. We're seeing shading. We're seeing a little bit of sheen. All those kinds of things we want from our ink. So yes, it's fountain pen friendly, but it is very lightweight. So that's something to take into account with any notebook like this. I want to show the other one I have here from Marks, because this one. This is the other edit notebook I have. I couldn't find the paper weight of this, but it is considerably sort of thicker. I'm going to say it's probably closer to 70 GSM, probably. And this is the blue rule notebook. So this is 240 pages, 7mm line rule. A6 size, once again, same dimensions, made in Japan. And this one, when I bought it, was 24 Australian dollars. And I've written with the same writing instruments here in the back. And, it performs similar. I think there's a little bit more line spread on this paper as opposed to the lighter weight paper, but everything else sort of performs quite well. Just realized I haven't done the highlighter test, so boom, there we are. No spreading of the lines or smearing or anything like that. Erases well enough. And the back of this page, there's less show through. It's a heavier weight paper. As I'm guessing it's around 70 to 80 GSM paper based on, the feel of it. I might be completely off there, but that's kind of where I'm placing it. Sharpie has bled through, but nothing else has. So it's good quality paper, and they're continuing that into this notebook with the lighter weight paper. I think this is trying to position itself in a way as a competitor with things like Tomoe River, right? We have Tomoe River, we have Craner, we have Irifel. We've got a bunch of really great Japanese papers. And this Neo Agenda paper, I think it's very nice. It's nice to write on. In fact, we'll do a little live writing sample here. Just grabbed my Ashira Aeon, which has a beautiful wet 14 karat gold medium nib on it. Another Pilot ink, however, but that's okay. So we have so this is Pilot Roshizuku Shin Ryoku. So you can see because it's a nice sort of tight weave paper, the ink sits nicely on the top. It takes a little while longer to dry, but you're getting nice shading through there and like hints of the sheen that you can expect on good quality paper here. And the reverse of that, like nothing has bled. You can see through, but it's not bled through, even though that is quite a wet pen. It's performing really well. So how does it compare with Tomoe River paper? So here is my Paper Mind notebook, which uses the 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. Obviously, they're different pens. I'll do a writing sample with that Ashira in a second. But in terms of ghosting and show through and things like that, like Tomoe River performs well, and we expect that. But you can see the ghosting, it's kind of similar there, right? It's a lightweight paper. It feels similar. Tomoe River might be slightly maybe slightly smoother, but they're nice white papers, lightweight papers, and they're beautiful to write with on. So here is the So I think the writing experience on the page with the, comparing the same nib on both, it's a little smoother, a little more relaxed on the Tomoe River paper. But in terms of the actual performance, I think they're pretty much on par. The inks look a similar color, maybe touch more vibrant on Tomoe River. There's maybe a tiny bit more sheen as well, but the shading shows up nicely. And I actually think there's probably a tiny bit of line spread more on the Tomoe River than there is here on the Neo Agenda paper from the EDiT notebook from Marks Ink. That was the Marks Ink little notebook here. As I said, I only got it in the A6. I wanted to test out the paper and see what it's all about. And I know I like this little format for sort of carrying around and jotting down ideas and things. And that's great for that. And this, simple minimalist sort of design I enjoy. The paper is nice enough. Will I move to this paper as a sort of a standard paper for me? Well, for me, the standard paper I use is Midori. It's a little thicker, it's got a nice little tooth to it, and everything performs well on it. Occasionally, I'm using books with Tomoe River, particularly like if I'm reviewing inks or have specific projects, things like that, Traveler's Notebook, all those kinds of papers get a lot of use in my setup. So would I move to this kind of paper? I don't know. Does it do anything for me that other brands of paper like Tomoe River or Craner or Eurofil do? No, not really. Does it have different formats of notebooks? Not really. Is it cheaper? No, not really. Is it a good alternative? If this was the only thing in a shop and I needed a notebook, would I get it? Absolutely. It performs well. It does everything it should do. It's an interesting option, and I'm keen to see where they go further and the different formats and things that they may look at as they get, this new, better international distribution and stuff. So thank you for watching today's video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notifications button, and please consider becoming a member of this channel. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, your writing, and I'll talk to you soon.